In the shadow of the towering Sierra Nevada mountains, where the American River carved its relentless path through untamed wilderness, a single glint in the dust ignited a madness that would reshape a nation. It was January 1848 in the quiet outpost of Coloma, California, then still part of Mexican territory, on the cusp of becoming American soil after the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. John Sutter, a Swiss immigrant with grand visions of an agricultural empire, had built his fort and sawmill along the river's edge. He hired James W. Marshall, a simple carpenter, to oversee the construction. On that fateful morning of January 24th, as Marshall inspected the tailrace of the mill, something unnatural caught his eye amid the swirling silt. He bent down and plucked a small, shiny pebble from the streambed. His heart thumped wildly as he tested it with a hammer. Soft, malleable, untarnished. My eye was caught by the glimpse of something shining in the bottom of the ditch, Marshall later recalled. I reached my hand down and picked it up. It made my heart thump, for I was certain it was gold. Sutter, fearing the chaos that such a discovery could unleash on his budding enterprise, swore Marshall to secrecy. But whispers have a way of spreading like wildfire through the frontier. By March, San Francisco's fledgling newspaper, The Californian, reported cautiously, "Gold has been discovered in considerable quantities." Yet it was the cunning merchant Sam Brannan who truly fanned the flames. He raced through the streets of San Francisco, waving a vial filled with glittering dust and shouting at the top of his lungs, "Gold! Gold on the American River!" The frenzy erupted. Locals abandoned their farms, sailors deserted their ships in the harbor, and San Francisco shrank from a bustling port of 1,000 souls to a near ghost town overnight. The real fever struck in 1849 when President James K. Polk confirmed the discoveries in his address to Congress. Word tore across the continent via steamship and pony express, drawing over 300,000 dreamers, desperados, and daring adventurers from every corner of the globe. They became known as the 49ers, lured by tales of unimaginable wealth. An ounce of gold fetched 20 months of wages for a common laborer back east. Stories of strikes at places like Coloma Hill, where miners hauled in $1,000 a day from the earth, turned ordinary men into gamblers, staking everything on a whim. The journeys to the goldfields were trials of fire. For those braving the overland trail, it meant 2,000 grueling miles from Missouri in Conestoga wagons, across scorching prairies, treacherous mountain passes, and vast deserts. Cholera stalked the caravans, claiming thousands in shallow graves. Pioneer Louisiana Stanley Wilson captured the horror in her memoir. The road was literally lined with the skeletons of horses and oxen. The air was tainted with the odor of death. Families pushed on, driven by hope, though many turned back, their spirits broken. Others chose the sea routes, around the treacherous Cape Horn or through the fever-ridden Isthmus of Panama, enduring months of storms, scurvy, and disease. Yet the pull was irresistible, a siren's call whispering of fortunes waiting in the dust. Upon arrival in the diggings, the 49ers plunged into a lawless paradise of placer mining. No fancy machinery was required. A simple pan, rocker box, or long tom sufficed to sift the auriferous sands from the riverbeds. Boomtowns sprang up like weeds in the prairie. Places like Hangtown, later renamed Placerville, where vigilante justice dangled from sturdy oaks, or Virginia City in Nevada, born from the extension of the Comstock lode. Here, fortunes flipped like a gambler's coin. Not all struck gold in the ground. Levi Strauss, a Bavarian immigrant, found his in sturdy denim pants tailored for the miners, birthing an empire of blue jeans. Young Sam Clemens, who would later become Mark Twain, prospected briefly amid the chaos and wove his experiences into tales like Roughing It. The mania had swept the land like a prairie fire, but glory came laced with shadows. The Native Americans, the Miwok, Yakuts, and others suffered the cruelest blows. Their ancestral lands were overrun by hordes of intruders, their populations ravaged by imported diseases and outright violence. Historians estimate California's indigenous numbers plummeted from 150,000 to a mere 30,000 by 1870. Conflicts flared, like the Mariposa War of 1850-51, which forced tribes onto barren reservations. For the miners themselves, the dream often soured. By 1852, the easy placer gold had been plucked clean, giving way to hydraulic mining, blasting entire hillsides with powerful water cannons, scarring the earth in ways that echoed for generations. A few rose to riches, like the Big Four railroad barons who parlayed their gold into the transcontinental iron rails that bound the nation. But most ended bankrupt, broken, or buried in unmarked graves along forgotten trails. In this cauldron of greed and grit, the fever drew a tapestry of humanity. Foreigners flooded in, Chinese laborers, scorned as celestials and enduring brutal racism, yet building resilient communities. Australians with their rowdy spirit, Mexicans sharing ancient mining wisdom from Sonora. The rush diversified the West, hastening California's statehood in 1850 and accelerating America's manifest destiny. Yet it bred vice in equal measure. Saloons brimming with rot-gut whiskey, gambling dens ringing with the clink of ill-gotten coins, and outlaws prowling the shadows. Legends like Joaquin Murrieta, the bandit who some hailed as a folk hero, avenging injustices against his people, blurred the line between myth and menace. As the 1850s faded, the fever leaped to new frontiers. Colorado's Pikes Peak in 1859, Montana's Alder Gulch, even the sacred Black Hills, sparking bloody tensions with the Sioux. Each echo of California's rush brought the same cycle: hope blooming into hardship, transformation rising from turmoil. The Comstock lode alone yielded $400 million in silver and gold, bolstering the Union's coffers during the Civil War. But the environmental scars ran deep: rivers choked with mercury poison, forests stripped bare for mined timbers, landscapes forever altered. The gold rush was more than nuggets gleaming in the dust. It was the fever that forged modern America, spurring waves of innovation, migration, and unyielding ambition. From sleepy frontier villages to thriving metropolises, it etched the Wild West's indomitable spirit into the nation's soul. Yet it serves as a stark reminder of the costs: peoples displaced, lands ravaged, dreams shattered on the rocky shores of reality. In the end, one must wonder, did the gold build a brighter tomorrow, or merely gild the chains of folly? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if this tale struck gold for you, hit that like button and subscribe for more dives into the Wild West. Until next time, keep your powder dry and your eyes on the horizon.